Hello, welcome back to my channel. So we finally got to see the season premiere of the new season of Life After Lockup. And I'm curious what you guys thought about it. I'm not gonna lie, the whole episode was giving staged and set up. Like, like I always say, I know these shows aren't real, but it's like I want to at least feel like they're real. And it just seemed like every storyline at some point I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not really buying this. Did you guys see the first look for the rest of this season where Taylor and Chance were literally in a confessional and Chance was looking at Taylor with disgust as he was telling her how much he hated her? And Taylor clapped back and she's like, you don't take no accountability and you just want to be a freaking whore. So it looks like things are going to get pretty intense with them, and I'm sure they're probably going to say that for this season finale. And then we got Mama June coming back again in February, and we're going to have to go another 3 months without our show. But now let's talk about Melissa and Louie, because that's who I want to talk about today, because Melissa was just pissing me off left and right. So Louie decided he was going to go get on a plane and go pop up on Melissa and surprise her. And so at this time, they're still on a pause. And I'm not really buying the whole fact that they're on a pause. I just think this is like a wrench thrown in by producers to make things look interesting. Because I just don't feel like she would wait all this time for him to get out of prison just to put their relationship on a pause and jeopardize their relationship as soon as he gets out. What's the point of putting your relationship on pause when the dude is literally changing his parole address to your home? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So Louie pulls up, he hops out of the car, and he walks into her job, and she works as a bartender at this restaurant. I know it's good promo for the business, but if I was on national TV, I would not want people to know the exact location I worked at, because people be trolling and calling people's jobs nowadays and doing the absolute most. But I guess it's also a benefit for her because she's a bartender, so that means more people who come in, that's more tips for her. So Louie walks in and she is literally holding hands with this dude and acted surprised when Louie walked in the door. And I don't think it was really as much as a shock as she was trying to lead on, because there's a whole cameraman behind her. So she knew she was filming, and they probably got one of the sound guys or producers to sit in and pretend he's this random man that's at the bar holding hands with Melissa. So Louie walks in, he's like, man, what the hell did I just walk into? So Louie was a little upset because he did not get the reaction he was expecting from Melissa when he decided to surprise her at her job. And Melissa said that she was disappointed because she was annoyed about how the way Louie went about it, how he just showed up, didn't tell her, and now here she is working, and it doesn't make any sense because she could have took off work and spent more time with it. Melissa was curious how Louie's teeth looked because she hasn't seen him since he got his dentures, and he showed her and she just looked at him in disappointment. And I felt bad for Louie in that moment because he's already insecure with the way he looks, and here she is just piling onto it in front of everyone at the bar and in front of 10 different cameras on national TV. I mean, if she don't like them, she has the right to be honest with him. Like, if I was with somebody, I would want them to tell me if it looks bad. But at the same time, you gotta do something like to make him feel better about himself too, because it just constantly seems like she's putting him down. If you're constantly going to be putting him down, then you need to do something to help build him back up afterwards. So Louie went outside and he waited for Melissa until she clocked out. And then she took him to her place, which was very much giving Airbnb. Like, the producer zoomed in on one picture frame she had to try to convince us it was her place. But she had a 2-bedroom house in this episode, her room and a guest room. And when she went to her room, the pillows still had tags on them. So either she plans on returning those pillows afterwards, or that's an Airbnb. And the reason I know for sure this is an Airbnb is because we have to remember that Melissa has like 2 or 3 kids. And where are her kids' rooms if this is her house? She probably has her kids back at her home while her and Louie are filming in the Airbnb. So Louie asked Melissa where they want to go from here, because she's acting real standoffish, and she's sitting there and she pulls out some frozen meatballs, and he was like, frozen meatballs, really? I mean, come on, you cannot give an Italian man frozen meatballs. But at the same time, he did surprise her, so he didn't give Melissa any time to prepare, so he kind of has to take what she has in the house. And she even told him, she's like, look dude, you were in prison for 10 years, I'm sure you had worse. So Louie asked Melissa, look, what is your deal? And she said that she feels like he's deluded and that he acts like a teenager and his situation is like a teenager. And she feels like Louie isn't trying hard enough, because after a week of applying for places, he got discouraged and went back to what he knows, and that's the pizza place. I know it's harder for him to get a job as a felon, and for anyone who's a felon trying to find employment, this is a list of places that hire felons. But I don't blame Louie though, because he's coming out with barely any money, and he's trying to make it with what he has to get that money rolling in as fast as possible. And here's Melissa judging Louie for working at a pizza place when she's working at a bar called the Chubby Pickle. But at the same time, she does work as a post office worker too. She is a little hustler, I'll give her that. But she was giving him such a hard time. I don't understand why she's on this dude's neck so bad when he's literally fixing to move to New Jersey soon anyways. Like, what do you want him to do? Go get a job for a few weeks and he has to put in his 2-week notice because he's moving to New Jersey with you? She's being way too hard on him way too early, and I think she needs to give him some time to prove himself. Like, I understand she's just setting boundaries right now, and she's trying to make him understand, look, I'm not going to let this fly. You got to actually put some effort in. And then Melissa told Louie, well, look, if the only job you can get is a freaking pizza place when you're back in Georgia, then what the hell are you gonna do when you move up here to Jersey with me? I feel like Melissa now feels like she has to be Louie's mom, because Louie's mom has been doing everything for him his whole life. And I think she just needs to be on him like, hey babe, let's call these jobs you just applied for. Because, you know, a lot of times it takes more than just putting in the application. You actually got to show that you want that job and take initiative and call that job and be like, hey, I put an application in like a week ago. What's going on? Can I talk to the manager? Or even try to go in one day and see if you can speak to a manager. So I feel like Melissa is just staying quiet about things and then just letting it fester up and build resentment, and then she's blowing up on Louie like we saw her do in this last episode. So Louie then asked Melissa if she even loves him anymore, and she was just like, and she was just looking like this, and that would have been enough for me to pack my bags and go back home to Georgia. That girl literally sat there for minutes after saying I mean, and just sat there quiet looking like this, like she's trying to do the hardest damn math equation she's ever done in her life in her head. And even then she still didn't have an answer, and Louie took offense to that, and he's like, you know what, I don't even want these damn frozen meatballs no more. He slammed his plate on the table and he said he wasn't hungry, he was just gonna go to bed. And like I said, that would have pissed me off right there, especially playing games with me on national TV about whether you love me or not. Especially playing with someone's emotions who's so fragile because he just got out of prison. This is his first time out in the free world, not doing drugs in years. And she's doing everything possible to hurt this man's feelings and make him not feel loved or appreciated. And that can push someone to relapse quick. That is not healthy for somebody who has a history of using drugs to be going through all those roller coaster of emotions as soon as they get out of prison. Plus, she knew what she was getting herself into when she decided to date a felon. And when she made that decision, she knew it was going to be harder for him compared to other people to get a job, get housing. And I think she just needs to give him a break. Even Louie called out Melissa. He's like, are you just, trying to live out your high school fantasy? And I think really that's a lot of what it is. She had this fantasy that was going to be like how she wanted to be in high school, and they're just going to get out. And she can drive up and down the roads in New Jersey and show off to everyone that Louie's her man. And they can have the white picket fence and live happily ever after. But she's realizing all the struggles that come along with dating a felon. The real test is going to be once he actually moves out to New Jersey and what he does from there. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Check out my lashes and cosmetics at AccordingtoAmber.com. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.